Instagram every day, and doing good. Been some stuff's rolling really well, and other shit's a little bit stuck in the mud.
Yeah. All right. So I had Holly set us up because we've had some technical difficulties in the past. So she started. We just went live. So here we are live on the Redroom for Phoenix RIA, and then the Viking YouTube channel, Just for Flips YouTube channel, and then my own personal Facebook. We're just jumping in here in the middle of the conversation talking about just like the market's slow, right? I think we have about 25,000 actives cruising right now. 25.5 right in there. Highest point since like 2017. I did 3 price drops on Monday myself. I think Temp, before we got on here, said he had a couple price drops going on. So it's definitely been the slowest March we've seen in a while. I mean, I would even say slower than 2023 and 2024. So, I mean, those are definitely struggles for a lot of people, but this one's been a tough one.
I mean, historically, first quarter has been our best quarter every single year, and yeah, this was our slowest quarter. This is our slowest first quarter we've had in probably 6-7 years. So we're in that exact same boat right now.
And then is that
super fun? It's super fun.
Luke, is that mostly Northern Arizona stuff or a mix?
It's combo. I mean, we definitely started doing more in like the Phoenix and the Valley than we have in the past couple of years. Things are still moving a little bit faster for us up north for sure. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, definitely still not what it was over the past couple of years.
Yeah. Well, it's tough.
How about you, Tracy? How are things going?
Well, I was just thinking, I mean, things are pretty steady, but I mean, keep in mind, I'm getting a lot of feedback here. I'm pretty just steady about things, so I don't take on a lot at a time, and I always make sure I buy deep enough so I have, the ability to get out of things if I need to. Yeah. But I think it's just really tough for people to make decisions around what to do, because in the past, like even in 2022, things changed in the blink of an eye, but we knew where it came from. Whereas right now it's coming from several different things, and one's trying to balance each other out, and there's just a lot of volatility. So I think it's just more difficult for us as real estate investors to kind of gauge what do we do in our business to read the tea leaves of what to do and how to predict what's next. There is no predictability. And I think the market rather know, like, this is how tariffs are going to affect us, and this is what's going to happen. And right now we don't have any persistent and steady answers to really navigate with. And if it looks like I'm high or I've been crying over the market, my allergies have been kicking my butt. So that's why.
Yeah, right, Trace. You just lit up a doobie, didn't you?
I mean, gotta do what we gotta do.
If I look like I'm high.
Yeah. I mean, my eyes are super red. Yeah. It's the market. It's the market.
Yeah, Tracy, we're not falling for it.
You caught me.
But no, I think it's one of those things where you kind of had a decision to make at the beginning of the year. You either push forward or you kind of stepped on the brake a little bit. We stepped on the brake just because of obviously the election. Obviously election years always kind of give you a little uneasiness, a little uncertainty. And I'm kind of happy we did, just because things have been slowing down. But I mean, I think a lot of people, we definitely thought though that after Trump won, that things were going to kind of step back up again. And I mean, it just hasn't been that way yet. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I still think it's going to be great. I just think that it's going to take a little time to kind of get rolling.
I've had a good first quarter, mostly selling contracts though. Like, you guys know, I have my business partner Miguel and we've been flipping a lot of mobile homes. Those have been great little assets. So just your cash on cash return so much better, and your affordability is there. So that's been good for us to like grab a mobile for, let's say 150, instead of putting 100 in like a SFR, you're putting 60 in to go make the same 30 or 40. So your cash on cash returns better. And then we have found that instead of people choosing to not buy, I think they're starting to say, wow. And we design them like really well. We try to flip them like we would a $700,000 house, like pretty much same material. So kind of a high design, and people are like, all right, I can own this, and it's pretty freaking cute. So we've done well on those, but where I'm getting killed right now is just like the standard 4.2 or 3.2 in Chandler, single family that would normally fly off the shelf at 500 or 480, and it's just not. And you're like, so, and I put 80 grand or 100 grand into it rather than 50 like I did on the manufactured that's moving. But then we've sold contracts really well. Like Chris and I, we had a 6-figure deal together like a month ago. So that, like, we've done really well. It's just on the P&L, when I look at all the companies, the one company that just sucks is the flipping, besides the mobiles. But all the other stuff it's been a great year so far.
Templeton, that's really interesting to hear you say that you do a higher end output on mobile homes. I don't flip mobile homes, but even in the space that I am in, which is typically entry level, that credo has always done really well, like more of a boutique style, a little bit more in the design, not necessarily going overboard with the budget or the output, but I mean, it's refreshing actually to hear that you do that in the mobile home space as well. And it commands a premium.
It does, because I think the standard is, let's just lipstick on a pig, right? Like, let's just paint and carpet, and this buyer's not going to care, or they're quote unquote desperate or unsophisticated around it. And it's like, it's not that much more money to put a little bit better cabinet in, a little bit better cabinet, a little bit better pools, a little bit better backsplash. I mean, you're probably talking about cumulatively maybe $5 grand more of spend to make it dress way better.
No question.
And so our little shtick has been like making affordable housing really proud to own, and those have been selling off really nicely. The one caveat though is you're almost always going to get an FHA buyer, so you don't need to rush. You know how most flips, you're like, let's get this done as quick as we can. It's almost better to take the 90 days and just know that you're going to have that burn on your hard money if you're borrowing hard money, because you're not going to sell it till after day 91. At least what we found. We have not sold any to a conventional buyer. They have all been FHA.
Right. Well, the good thing is too, is that your hard money is not that bad because you're low price points to buy them at. So it's not going to, like you said, it's not going to really burn you too much anyway because of the low dollar amount.
Exactly. Those have been good. Those have kind of been the shining star in the flipping company while we have some dogs. But, you know, I think for us, my blend is always, I probably make 50% of my money, 60% of my money selling contracts, another quarter of my money flipping houses, and then the other quarter on, you know, agency, acting like a realtor. And then now the revenue share is starting to be an impactful amount, which is, you know, that cash flow that was in the title.
Yeah, let's hear about this.
So let's jump into that. I mean, that's why you're kind of jumped on today, is like, obviously my business has always got the wholesale as a thing, but then I got this little hard money company that generates passive income, right? I don't have any rentals really, but this hard money. So explain to us the whole, like, we hear about it in EXP and all the different companies. I don't know, there's probably too many companies doing it now, but kind of give us the nuts and bolts of it all.
Okay, so I'm at Real Brokerage. It's the fastest growing brokerage in the nation. And had you ever told me I was going to sell like a downline model at a brokerage, I would have been like, what went wrong in my life? But in 22, when the market was starting to fall, I realized that agents were really craving multiple streams of income because transaction count was down. And they're like, I need to put more tools in my tool belt, right? And they needed to diversify revenue streams the way the four of us have done really well. But not everyone's going to go create companies, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at that and I was like, okay, that's a cool opportunity. I also thought in 2017, I was at EXP for 90 days and I attracted really well because I have a good social presence and I had like 30 people and it grew and it would have been great, but they wouldn't let me wholesale contracts, which is how I make most of my money. So I left. But during COVID, I remember I cashed a check. Keep in mind, I was only at EXP for 90 days and their stock ran up crazy for a minute. And I cashed a check for like $100,000. So I did some math. I was like, oh, shoot, that was a real thing. And the rev share. But EXP, good, bad, or indifferent, there's some great people there. I have friends there that are fantastic. As a whole, it's almost they've become like punished by their own success. Like if I was going to call you guys and be like, hey, Luke, man, can I tell you about this thing? And you're like, yeah, Temp, of course. And I'm like, EXP. If I said EXP, you're going to be like, bro, like I've heard it. Like if you're going to go to EXP, you're there.
That
model
sure
works really well. And the model was correct, but there was some, in my opinion, deficiencies in it that Real has solved. So anyway, timing and the experience that I had being there for a moment, but Real is very great about letting you be entrepreneurial, and I can have joint ventures, I can invest, I can do everything I want to do, and they don't mess with me, which is great. So that's like number one. And then number two, on my social media, which you guys follow, I started telling people like, hey, I'm at this place. It's great. Like, come on over. Like, not even really trying. And accidentally over 2 years, I built like a pretty strong network. Like one of the top, I'm a growth ambassador for the company. So I'm one of the top 50 in the nation. And it kind of grew. And I like didn't even try really. And I was like, oh, this isn't a me thing. Everything else I've ever done, people were attracted to me. This is just like, if I can get people to just look at the math and look at the brokerage, they're in. But I wasn't putting attention to it. So all that to say, I finally, like, it started to grow to a point where it's spitting off 10, 15 grand a month free cash flow passive without me trying, by the way. And I'm like, all right, what am I doing? Like, because every month, you guys, if I don't go put my face on the internet and ask for business and have our callers rolling, I'm not making money. Like, all of my businesses are so reliant on me.
Yeah.
Right.
Where this, not only is this still coming in every month, it's growing. So like my network last month started at like 490 people. And I think today it's at 545. And I've started trying for the last month and a half, and I've done a really good job. I've brought another 10 people over, but it grew by 50 people.
Heck yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so my analogy is this. Imagine finding rental properties that have no CapEx, no management, no evictions, no stuff, that go and find you more rental properties. And when you think about it like that, you're like, oh my, like, that's how I, like, my mind switched. And I was like, all right, I got to sprint at this for like 2 years, because there's people making multiple 6 figures a month on this.
Right.
What's great is you're not trying to have people sell milkshakes, right? Like, you just need realtors to be realtors. Like, if you're a productive realtor, if you look at the math, it's the best place to be. And what was great is, and this is something I really love, you guys, is I'm a builder. I'm going to go be successful no matter where I sell. But let's just say you're an agent that sells a few and you bring a few friends over. When our market's been really choppy, I've had realtors get $1,800, $2,700, $4,200 just off a couple closings beneath them that they really needed. So it's been great in that regard, and I can break it down further, but that's kind of the genesis of how it happened and why I'm so excited about it. And it's just like, I see a real roadmap to not have to, I'm always going to do deals. I'm always going to do that. But this thing is pretty silly, and I'm like, all right, I'm not missing the boat on it. And that's why I'm here taking the time to speak about it. Obviously, if you guys ask me to speak about anything, I would. You're my friends. But this is something I'm really excited about.
Heck yeah. Tim, question for you. So how does that work now? And again, you can give some of the details or you don't have to. I don't know how that works. But
I'll tell you anything. Okay,
how does it work in the sense then? So it's like, obviously it sounds kind of, is it somewhat related, kind of like how like MLMs are set up?
Exactly. It's an MLM for realtors, right?
So then is it like you make, whatever, you make 10% of whatever they make off of their downline, or 20% or whatever that is, like per deal that they do? Like, kind of give us the details of how that works.
That was my question.
So you're going to have an 85-15 with a 12K cap, right? And for me, I don't want to be a broker, and I would suggest most people should not be a broker.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay a broker something. Like, whether I was at a flat fee place where I was getting them $300 a file, or if I'm at my brokerage where it's an 85-15 with a 12K cap, some broker's going to go make 15 to 30 grand a year from me, because I don't want to do that job. So agents got to think in that way, like, I'm going to pay somebody. What am I getting for it? So that downline model, Luke, it goes 5 levels deep, and you open up the lines when you have what is called personally sponsored qualifying agents. So let's say, Tracy, you said, hey, Temp, I want to come to Real. I want to name you sponsor. I go, awesome. Well, when you close your first $3,000 of commission, so just $3 grand of commission every 9 months, you're now qualifying. You open up a spot for me. So if I have 5, I open up line 2. If I have 15 of those, I open up line 3. If I have 20 of those, I open up line 4. And if I have 25 of those, I open up line 5. My dumbass has only had 2 lines open, and I'm still making 10 to 15 grand a month because I've always had like 30 people personally sponsored, but we've been in a slow market. I have some newer agents. So I've always had like 13 or 14. I'm like right there.
Yep.
Instead of getting the 3rd line open. So I missed out on about 60 grand last year by not doing that. But again, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't even really looking at it.
Yeah.
But I still made 6 figures in passive income. And I was like, oh, wait, what is this 3rd line? Wait, what? I was like, wait, what? I'm like, dude, I want to have a take back. I could have made an extra 60 grand in passive income. So the way the math works, though, to your question, it's an 85-15 with a 12K cap. And the company, instead of having a huge marketing department and running billboards and commercials, they say, hey, we're going to grow this company through our agents. We're going to pay them to grow this. So they align with their best agents to grow the company, and they share the company dollars. So Tracy, if I bring you over, you don't owe me any extra money. You don't owe me a split. You're not on my team. But of the 12 grand, you're going to pay real. If you're my personal sponsor, I'm going to make up to $4,000. My second line, 3,200, then 2,400, then 1,600, then 800. If I have those open. And real makes their money because not everyone's going to have a perfectly optimized downline. So they make money on all sorts of spots that the agent doesn't collect on. Because people like me didn't have their line 3, 4, and 5 open. So I've been leaving tons of money on the table that the company gets to,
Go to them. Yeah.
So there's some strategy to it, but it's pretty simple. I mean, if you could get someone to sell $3,000 of commission every 9 months, they can be a qualifying agent. So I'm excited, you guys. This has been like my main thing, my North Star that I've been focused on for about 6 weeks. And I should hit 50 personal sponsors by the end of this month. My goal is to have 100. So I never deal with this like not optimized 5 lines open. And then my goal is to just bring so much value to this group to have, a couple thousand people in this network. And I think I can make a few $1 million a year passive.
Wow.
That's awesome.
But even if someone doesn't, what I love, I call it a 5x5 model. What if you're an agent that only ever brings 5 people, like over the course of the next year or two? If you brought 5 people on that front line and they capped, that's 20 grand a year passive. And let's just say those 5 people only brought a second line. That's all you ever owned on. They brought 5. That's another 18. So now you have 38 grand a year passive. Not everyone's going to cap, by the way. Like that's if it was optimized. But you guys own rentals. You guys have lent money. You know how freaking hard it is to get rentals to spit off $3,000 a month to you net?
Yeah.
It's hard.
For sure.
And I equate it to this. I'm at a badass party. I'm liking it. It's good vibes. Drinks are hitting. Everyone, it's a nice little moment. Would you invite your friends and be like, hey Luke, I'm at this party. Shit's popping off.
Where's it at? Where? Come on, where is it?
Yeah. You know what's cool, guys? I haven't even really like recruited. I'm about to start. All I've done is talk about it a little bit on the internet and raise my hand, and people are calling me because Real is growing so fast. They're already attracted. Like the top agents in the nation are moving over. So people are like, hey, they're in my DM saying, hey, bro, can you tell me more? And I'm like, of course. Oh, you want to know what else I forgot to tell you? Holy shit. But wait, there's more.
It's about to drop.
If you order right now,
buy one, get one free.
You get a second scrub daddy.
Or ShamWow.
What's crazy is when I attract and they have these incentives, they give you, they're on the NASDAQ. They're a publicly traded company. You get stock. So now when you talk about what you're working for, every time I attract, I get like 250 shares. Don't quote me on any of this because I'm not like a detail guy, but I can tell you I have 6 figures of stock sitting in an account for just doing what I was already going to do, be a realtor. So if you hit what's called elite, which is your 12K cap plus 6 grand in post cap fees. So the most you're going to pay them is 18K because you'll pay $225 a file after. So you'll pay them 18. They give you $16,000 in stock, just straight up. Well, I was there when the stock was like $1 or $2. So I've accumulated 30, 40 grand of stock that is now turned into like 6 figures. I pulled 26 grand out and bought a rental a few months ago.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like,
Heck
not
yeah.
only did it not cost me money to be here, they paid me 6 figures in cash every, like on the 15th of every month, I got straight cash. And I have I have 100 grand plus of equity for doing what I was going to do.
Heck yeah.
This is why I'm excited.
For
So
sure,
Tim, I have
that's
a
awesome.
question. Does
What do you got?
anyone that comes over participate in the same way, or is this something additionally if you were to come over to Real that you have to sign up with? Like, how does that work in terms of sponsorship and getting your downline and participating in this, or is it just like, hey, since you're with Real, you're sort of already automatically participating?
You're automatically you have the ability to go earn on all this. You can also another thing, like you have 8 different ways to earn ancillary income besides commissions. Because if you're a realtor, the number one way you should be making money is selling houses.
Yeah.
Right. And doing investments. Like that's number one. But this gives you all these extra ways. So like you could take 5 to 10% of your commission and buy the stock at a 15% discount. So like that's dope. There's all these ways, but if anyone can move over and they have access to these day one. And what's cool, the difference between EXP and what Real's doing, and again, no shade on EXP, but like I like selling shit that's easy to sell. And if I had to pitch you guys on that right now, if you're not already there, I don't think you're going, right? Like I think it's a hard sell. And I think the timing and what we have going culturally is great, but there's a big difference in the sense that EXP is like siloed in the sense that I can incentivize you with, hey, I used to have, you guys know I had Realtor Doctors. It was a 10 grand course. Hey, if you name me, I'll give you Realtor Doctors for free. So I have this like carrot I could dangle. Where with Real, you're not allowed to do that. If you come to Real, I am allowed to have paid coaching, but I can't say, hey, Tracy, if you name me sponsor, you can have this thing for free. If I do that, I got to be able to give that to anybody at Real, right? So it creates, we call it one Real, one network. So let's say you join and then Luke joins and Luke has this really cool community and culture. You have access to that as well. And I'm like, it's like an abundant mindset where it's like, if someone was like, hey, I'm at Real, I'd love to get on that Tuesday call you're doing. I'm like, awesome. Like, I'm happy to pour into you. And hey, Tracy, you want to go grow your line a little bit and you're talking to a few people. I'm going to make sure I say, hey, you're putting Tracy down as sponsor, not me, because I still win because you're in my network. So I like it because it kind of creates this conduit between businesses where we can all partner without having to do operating agreements and attorneys. But we're now incentivized to be in business together across the nation. It's pretty freaking cool.
That's awesome.
Temp, if you get a guy that's got sleeveless shirts every time he's on the Redroom, does he get a bonus for that?
Come on. Give me one.
All your downline has to have full sleeves now.
Hey,
I love it.
Hey, that's me and you, Tracy. Okay, we're both sleeveless right now.
Great shoulders.
Yeah.
No, you guys look great. I mean, but yes, Luke, are you licensed?
No.
Yeah, neither am I.
Oh, well, I mean, here's what is nice though, and I think a lot of people are missing this, investors. I think I've done this better than most for whatever reason, because I was a big realtor before I was an investor.
Right.
Like I had Templeton Group and we sold 50, 60 million a year and I was known as a realtor.
Right.
But the truth was I was on stage as this like young superstar and I wasn't making that much money because running a real estate team is stupid.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you don't do it right. Oh, it's insane. So I kind of had this blessing though that I had already like learned all this traditional file stuff.
Yeah.
That I held on to. That is a really good pivot, like investor first, pivot to agency. Because now, because you guys know, 9 out of 10 leads aren't taking 60, 70 cents on the dollar. They're just
they want retail, yeah.
But that's still a great that creates commissions, that creates title and escrow, that creates lending. So I've caught that income for years now on like 4 or 5 verticals where it's helped me grow a lot of income and wealth that I think, not that you guys aren't doing that, but like if you guys aren't earning commissions and all that, you should be.
For sure. So for us, so Sage, my wife, obviously she's an agent. So
Oh, so you have it. You have it. It's just not you.
Correct.
Are you pivoting your leads though? Like every time that they're that, like you pivot like to an agency, like, hey, we're gonna have our sister company called. You're a perfect fit for this.
We've got some. I mean, we've got our biking team, so we don't have like a big traditional team, but we have guys on on deck that are in our office that we can pass them off to.
So then you do have an agency arm that could make sense where you're collecting. Like if I was you, I'd be like, hey, my goal is to obviously still make the same commissions, but I want that $16,000, $20,000 a year of stock. Because if let's just say you just do that over the next 5 years, call it $100,000 of stock. We're at $4 or $5 a share right now. If we go to, EXP went to 180. I'm not saying we're doing that, but let's just say we have a similar growth trajectory and we go to $20, $30, $40. Well, that $100,000 turns into $500,000, $1 million for doing what you guys are already doing.
Right.
So that's where I'm just like, I just want to have my name in that hat. And if I'm wrong, if it goes to zero and it shuts down someday, well, I was going to pay a broker
nothing lost. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I like it.
It's nice too to provide a platform for realtors for them to treat this more like a career and a business where they can be integrated in. Whereas it seems like, and again, I'm not in the traditional side of things, most agents are just sink or swim, build your own team. You might get some training. Good luck with that. And then you just switch to another brokerage at some point in your career because of whatever. So Real does seem refreshing for agents that want to participate and grow some wealth. And like you said, be able to have profit centers other than just commissions and have that culture too.
You know what I like, Tracy, and that's a really good point. One cool thing that they've done too, and you guys know how important my kiddos are to me, and I get to see you guys, and we're at the wedding, like family and everything. My rev share is willable to my wife and kids. So after 3 years, it vests. It's willable.
Wow.
So they've just done some unique and cool things that I'm like, I'm just aligned with.
For sure, that's super cool. I like that.
Because if someone doesn't build rentals or have lending, there's not a lot of passive opportunities in what we do. Like there's no retirement.
No, it's transaction. It's very transaction based, industry. And obviously when it's transaction based and you've got downtimes like how this past year's been, it's very difficult on a lot of people in this industry. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and you know what people don't talk about, you guys, is just mentally. Like I've been at it 13 years. Chris, I'm sure you've had some valleys, dude. Like there's days I don't want to comp a house. I'm just like, I'm ready to sell feet pics on the internet or something. I'm just done. I just don't.
Hey, you might be onto something there.
I mean,
let's see those feet. Come on, let's see the feet.
You said earlier you're not selling milkshakes. I'm like, maybe you should. Milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard. So
hey, this is very true. I think that's only for if you're a woman, though.
But I will always do real estate deals, and I am in a mode right now where I'm happy to lead and hustle. I don't want to have to.
Yeah.
I'm 37 right now. And what I'm doing, guys, is like, I don't know how long real will last, but it's paying me very real money right now that I'm then taking and deploying into long-term assets.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm not saying, hey, in 20 years, my rev share is going to still be here. I think it will. I hope it will. But if it's not, I'm going to take this millions of dollars that it's going to pay me and put it into lending assets that I know how to, grow long-term wealth with.
When's the real coin coming out? That's the real question.
Yes, exactly. There's no real coin. Thank goodness.
Well, one of the major takeaways I'm getting is just like any of us is this is all very transactional and it's what you do with your proceeds to be able to build wealth over the long term. So these peaks and valleys aren't as emotional as they could be if you're just relying on transactional and commission income. So Tim, how do people find you, man? How do they find out more about Real and you and all the things?
All right. So Instagram's usually my best place, Templeton _Walker, and shoot me a DM. Again, You know what I learned, you guys, is like I've always had 5 or 6 things going on. So even if something has 100%, it's really only getting 20% of me because I have 5 things. This, I talked to Miguel. I'm like, hey, dude, you got to run this other side like really well. I'm going all the way after this. So it's my North Star this year. I am committed to serving whoever comes over and helping them solve their business. So Templeton _Walker, or how many people are on this? Do I want to give my cell phone number?
Well, it's going to be on YouTube to be able to watch
Yeah.
afterwards. So
Yeah.
You usually get about 500 views or so.
480-823-5672 and just say, hey, Temp, I want to come to Rio, or I at least want to look at it. Like, who knows if you want to come or not until we talk, but I'm happy to do a discovery call and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. I like it. I like.
Well, Temp, we appreciate it. We appreciate you jumping on. It's always great to have you on. I think we've been on here before. We try to keep it at a half hour, but we appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. It's
Absolutely. Awesome. Glad to hear you're doing well, and keep killing it.
You too,
it's great to have you, Temp.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yep, see you guys.
Bye, Lou. Bye, Chris.
Bye, guys.
See ya.